Hi, thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to do a little colony inspection. This is a little not very strong colony that we're going to check out, and we're doing a beginner beekeeping question and answer. So if you've got any questions you'd like answered, please put them in the comments below and Trace will call them out and we'll try and answer them. So I've got my smoker going. Just got to put my hood on. Got this lovely garden going at this time of the year, lots and lots of flowers out for the bees, and it's a great idea to plant a little garden around your beehive if you like. However, just one little garden can't sustain a full colony of bees. Mostly the bees forage far and wide. They say around 3 to 4 kilometres, but if they're really hungry they'll go 6 to 8 kilometres. I'm not sure what that is in miles. You can see we've got a little huntsman spider here. These little guys aren't poisonous, so we might just scoot him away. And straight up checking out the population, I can just put this in a cover here. The bees can climb back up if they want to. So straight up we're checking out the population on top of the frames. You can see it's okay. I expected it to be a little less as this was a weak colony. So if you're just tuning in, we're doing a live beginner question and answer. Please put your questions in the comments box and Trace will call them out for me. Is there any questions coming in, Trace?
Yeah, Pete. Question coming in from Miami Dodd on YouTube saying, just after I get they've got a swarm, how long does it take until the bees start storing honey? So far it's been 6 weeks and there's no honey, but they look all healthy and growing and doing their stuff.
That's a good question because it really depends on what's around in your area and what season of the year it is. If there's not much flowers going on for the bees, you may find that they don't gather too much nectar and you may want to feed them sugar water. You may want to consider that. And we can go into how to feed your hive. Cedar's done quite a few videos on feeding sugar water to your hive. It can't hurt your hive to do that. So if you think they're not storing nectar, then it may be a good thing to consider. When you feed them, if they take it down, then they obviously need it, but as soon as there's a good nectar flow, they usually will back off the sugar consumption and just go for the nectar. So usually a swarm will start packing in nectar straight away if there's a good flow happening. They'll draw comb and be putting the nectar in at the same time. And it's imperative for a swarm to get going as fast as they possibly can. Meaning they draw comb really, really quickly and they start putting nectar in it really, really quickly because it's basically a matter of life and death to them. They need their comb to store their food and for the queen to lay the babies, which you can actually see here. This colony actually started out as a swarm, interestingly enough, and they got going quite quickly. They've drawn this wax comb. It was maybe about 10 weeks ago now, something like that. So they've got to a point with it and then they've slowed down a lot. The flow here has slowed down a lot too, so they'll continue to draw. We should be able to see the bees in the act. Cluster like that, and then they'll join it up to this piece here. Any other questions coming in, Trace?
Yeah, Seed's just on, Seed, it's not Seed, it's Pete today.
It's Pete. Seed is away today, so I'm jumping in his big shoes.
So, Pete, sorry. Vanessa's asking on that bee swarmed, if your bee swarmed, how long should you leave it before you should check for your queen and larvae in your hive?
Oh yeah, so when bees swarm, the original laying queen of that colony leaves with half the bees, or even most of them sometimes. Sometimes if a bunch of virgin queens hatch out or emerge from the cells at the same time, there can be after swarms. with those virgins in it, or the virgin queens can leave with the originals. All the virgin queens that the colony has made begin to emerge. The first one out usually finds the others in the cells and stings them. If two emerge, go on to mate and return to the colony and start laying eggs and become the single queen. 2 weeks, give or take, become well mated. Basically, as soon as she's mated, she'll come back. So the short answer is, if you can swarm, in your hive that's swarmed, you should see eggs in there. And if you don't find eggs, you can put in a frame of open brood.